Hi guys, welcome back to Intellectual Literature. This is Gauri. In this video, we are going to analyze December 2023 PYQs question number 56 to 60. In previous video, we analyzed questions 1 to 55. If you have not watched that video, please go and watch that first and come back to this video. Don't skip this video. I will explain why the correct option is right and why the wrong option is wrong with a detailed explanation. So watch till end of this video. Let's go. Let's get started. Our 56th question. Arrange the following in the chronological order of the dates of publication. This question is from Literary Theory. Your options are Michael Foucault's The Order of Things, M.K. Gandhi's Hind Swaraj or the Indian Home Rule, Stephen Greenblatt's The Civil How the World Become Modern, Donna Haraway's When Spices Meet, Tony Bennett, Formalism and Marxism. Correct option is option B. First work Gandhi's Nationalism, then Foucault, then Bennett, then Haraway and then Greenblatt. I will explain briefly of this works. M.K. Gandhi's Hind Swaraj or the Indian Rule, which was published on the year 1909. This is a foundational political and philosophical text written by Gandhi during his return voyage from London to South Africa. Structured as a dialogue between an editor and a reader, the work criticized modern Western civilization, which Gandhi associated with materialism, industrialism and moral decay. He argues that true freedom, that is Swaraj, is not merely political independence from British rule, but moral self-rule based on self-discipline, simplicity and ethical living. Gandhi strongly opposes violent resistance and advocates satyagraha, that is non-violent resistance, as the ethical means to achieve national liberation. That the text also rejects blind imitation of the West and emphasizes indigenous values, making it a cornerstone of Indian nationalist thought and post-colonial political philosophy. Next work, Michael Foucault's The Order of Things. This work was published on the year 1966. This work is a major work of structuralist and post-structuralist thought that examines how systems of knowledge are historically constructed. Foucault introduced the concept of the episteme, which refers to the underlying conditions that make knowledge possible in a given historical period. Through detailed analysis of disciplines such as biology, economics and linguistics, he shows that what a culture considers truth is not universal but shaped by historical structures of thought. The book famously opens with an analysis of Velqui's Las Meninas to illustrate how representation and perception change over time. Foucault challenges the idea of a stable human subject, declaring the depth of man as a central figure of knowledge, thereby reshaping modern critical theory. Next work, Tony Bennett's Formalism and Marxism, which was published on 1979. In Formalism and Marxism, Tony Bennett critically examines the relationship between literary form and social ideology, engaging with Russian formalism, Marxist criticism and structuralism. Bennett challenges the view that literary text can be understood purely through internal formal structures. He argues that literature is produced within specific historical and ideological conditions and must be studied in relation to power, institution and material practices. Bennett critiques both orthodox Marxism for economic reductionism and formalism for ignoring ideology. This work is significant in the development of cultural materialism, emphasizing that literature functions as part of broader cultural and political processes rather than as an autonomous aesthetic object. Next work, Donna Haraway's When Spices Meet. This is a key text in feminist science studies, post-humanism and environmental humanities. Donna Haraway explores the complex relationships between human and non-human spices, particularly animals, challenging the traditional human-centered worldview. Using examples such as human-dog relationship, laboratory animals, and ecological interdependence, she argues for ethical responsibility and mutual coexistence. Haraway introduced the idea that species co-constitute one another through shared histories and interactions. The work critiques binary divisions such as nature, culture, and human animal, promoting a relation understanding of life that has deeply influenced contemporary ecological, feminist, and post-humanist theory. Next work, Stephen Greenblatt, The Civility How the World Became Modern, which was published on year 2011. This work is a literary history and new historicism work that narrates the rediscovery of lucrative classical text De Rerum Natura by the Renaissance humanist Poggio Braccioni. Greenblatt argues that this rediscovery plays a critical role in shaping modern secular thought by reintroducing Epicurean ideas such as atomism, materialism, and skepticism towards religious dogma, blending historical narrative with literary analysis. The book demonstrates how texts circulate through time and influence cultural change. The Severi highlights the power of literature in transforming intellectual history and reflects new historicism interest in the interaction between text, history, and ideology. Move on to the next question. This question is from Fiction Indian Literature. Arrange the following in the chronological order of the date year of publication. First option, Chitra Banerjee Divakarni's The Mistress of Spices. Next, Anand Giridhar Das, India Calling, an intimate portrait of a nation remocking. V.S. Naipaul's India, a wandered civilization. Bharati Mukherjee's Desirable Daughters, Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children. The correct option is option C. First work, V.S. Naipaul's India, a Wandered Civilization, which was published on the year 1977. Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children, which was published on the year 1981. This is the important work and frequently asked question. Work. Chitra Banerjee's Divakarni's The Mistress of Spices, which was published on the year 1997. Bharati Mukherjee's Desirable Daughters, which was published on the year 2002. Anand Giridhar Das, The India Calling, an intimate portrait of a nation's remocking, which was published on the year 2011. I will explain briefly of this work. V.S. Naipaul's India, a Wandered Civilization. This is non-fictional work in the second book in V.S. Naipaul's trilogy on India. In it, Naipaul presents a critical and often controversial assessment of Indian society, culture, and history. He argues that centuries of foreign invasions and colonial rule have left India psychologically wandered, leading to stagnation, social fragmentation, and a loss of confidence. The book reflects Naipaul's skeptical and outsider perspective as a diasporic writer of Indian origin, combining travel writing with historical and cultural analysis through criticized for its pessimism. The work is important for its exploration of post-colonial identity and national self-perception. Next work, Salman Rushdie's Midnight Children. This is important work. This work was published on the year 1981. This is a landmark post-colonial novel that blends history, fantasy, and magical realism. The story follows Salman Sinai, born at the exact moment of India's independence, whose life becomes symbolically linked to the nation's history. Rushdie uses fragmented narration, myth, and humor to rewrite Indian history for a subjective and imaginative perspective. The novel explores themes of nationhood, memory, identity, and the relationship between personal and political history. It won the Booker Prize and is regarded as a defining text for post-colonial English literature. Move on to the next work, Chitra Banerjee's The Mistress of Spices, which was published on the year 1997. This novel focuses on Tillo, a mystical woman who runs a spice shop in Oakland, California, serving members of the Indian diaspora. Each spice possesses magical and healing properties, linking everyday domestic life with the myth and folklore. The novel explores themes of displacement, cultural identity, female autonomy, and the immigrant experience by blending magical realism with the realist narrative. Divakarni highlights the emotional struggles of immigrants, especially women, negotiating tradition and modernity in a foreign land. The work is significant in Indian American diaspora literature. Next work, Bharati Mukherjee's Desirable Daughters, which was published on year 2002. Desirable Daughters explores the lives of three Bengal sisters navigating different parts of tradition and modernity in India and the United States, narrated by Tara, an immigrant woman living in California. The novel examines issues of gender, marriage, cultural transformation, and identity. Mukherjee contrasts old world values with new world freedom, portraying the complexities of assimilation and self-reinvention. The novel reflects Mukherjee's broader concern with immigration as a process of change rather than loss, highlighting the fluid nature of identity in a globalized world. Next work, Anand Giridhar Das, The India Calling, an intimate portrait of a nation's remarking, 2011. This non-fiction work presents a portrait of contemporary India during its phase of rapid economic and social change. Giridhar Das focused on a new generation of Indians who are returning from abroad or benefiting from globalization, reshaping the nation's identity. Through personal stories and interviews, the book explores themes of ambition, inequality, modernism, and cultural tension. It offers an insider-outsider perspective on India's transformation in the 21st century, making it an important text for understanding post-liberalization Indian society. Move on to the next question. This question is from Cultural Studies. Given below are two statements. One is assertion and another one is reason. Culture is one of the two or three most complicated words in English language. Reason is this is mainly because of several different related meanings have emerged at particular moments throughout its long history. Correct answer is both statement are true or is the correct explanation of A. I will explain detail. Why assertion is correct? Because this famous statement comes from Raymond Williams in Keywords, a vocabulary of culture and society. Williams point out that culture is extremely complex because it is used across many disciplines: anthropology, sociology, literary studies, history, and everyday speech, with varying meanings. Culture is indeed one of the most complex words in English language. As noted by scholars like Raymond Williams, it encompasses a wide range of meanings from artistic practice to social behaviors. Why reason is also correct? As the complexity of the word culture arises from the fact that its meanings have evolved over time and in different contexts, leading to several related but distinctive interpretations. The quote is from the non-fiction collection Aspects of the Poetry, being lectures delivered at Oxford 1881 by John Campbell Sheriff, which consists of lectures Sheriff delivered at Oxford. A few of the lectures were on Virgil, Shelley, Newman, Carroll and Shakespeare. John Campbell Sheriff was a Scottish critic of the 19th century. Williams explains that the word culture has evolved over time from civilization of land, civilization of mind and intellect, to ways of life, belief, practice and artistic expression. These historically layered meanings make the word complex. Relationship between reason and assertion. The reason directly explains why the word culture is so complicated. Its long historical development and multiple related meanings are exactly what Williams referred to. Move on to the next question. Use of broader principles of research underscored by philosophical rationalness is termed as. This question is from research methodology. Your options are research methods, research techniques, research tools, research methodology. Correct answer is research methodology. I will explain in detail. Use of broader principles of research by philosophical rationalize is termed as research methodology. Research methodology is the overall strategy and approach used to conduct research. It is a structured and scientific approach used to collect, analyze and interpret quantitative or qualitative data to answer research questions or test hypotheses. It includes the theoretical and philosophical underpinnings, research design, data collection and analyze methods and the framework for the research. Why other options are incorrect? Research method is a specific procedures. Example, survey, interview, experiment, textual analysis. They explain how data is collected, not the philosophical base. Research tool is also not correct. It is an instrument. Move on to the last question. This question is last question of this video. Which among the following is not a character from Jane Austen's novel Persuasion? This question is from fiction, British literature. Your options are Sir Walter Elliot, Lady Russell, Miss Crawford, Frederick Wentworth. The correct answer is that means not a character. Miss Crawford. Why Miss Crawford is not from Persuasion? Miss Crawford is a character from Jane Austen's Mansfield Park, not Persuasion. Along with her brother Henry Crawford, she plays a major role in Mansfield Park as a charming but morally ambiguous figure. While other options are right in that work, Sir Walter Elliot is a central character in Persuasion, the vain, self-centered, status-obsessed father of the protagonist Annie Elliot. Lady Russell, a close family friend who plays a significant role in influencing Annie's early decisions, like she persuades Annie to reject Winston. Frederick Winston is the male protagonist, Annie Elliot's former and later renewed love interest. I done here, I close here. In this video, we analyzed questions 56 to 60. I hope you are all found this video helpful. In upcoming videos, I will explain next questions, that is 61 to 100 questions. If you found this video helpful, do like, share your thoughts in comment section and share this video to your friends who really want this, who are preparing for UGC NET examination. Okay, do subscribe my channel. This is Gauri from Intellectual Literature. Thank you for watching.